Pop the champagne because Mahan is finally coming. He's been saving, he's been storing, but finally he decided to let it go. Mahan coming to Raw, April 4th of 2065. Pre-order your tickets now.
I'm gonna come.
It's hard to focus after such good news, but welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's pretty clear we're getting Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Not only are they teasing it every week, people are chanting Cody, WWE. I'm not trying to stop that, but also I've seen many reports saying that Cody Rhodes already signed with the WWE. Who else could it be? Not Veer Mahan. April 4th, ladies and gentlemen, mark your calendars. I made a whole video talking about how I'm trying not to be a mark anymore, but boys, if they ruin Veer's coming, I'm gonna be pissed. I am gonna be angry. This is a coming I've been waiting for. Me and all the other loyal virgins are so excited about this, man. April 4th! But honestly, I'm very interested in the storyline. I think it's one of the best ones we have right now. And it's crazy because we don't even have the other guy that participates in the storyline. It's just one man building the entire match that we don't even know whether it's confirmed or not. But it's interesting and it works for whatever reason. The show kicks off with Stone Cold Steve Nope. This was great, man. This was amazing. It's like seeing a bunch of kids expecting a candy. You unwrap the candy and it's a broccoli. That's what it felt like. Yes, Kevin Owens was dressed as Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was talking as Stone Cold Steve Austin, basically in his promo insinuating that Kevin Owens is going to beat Stone Cold Steve Austin's ass at WrestleMania in a KO show. Again, they're building it as a match, but it's not a match. That's kinda weird, but I'm excited. Like I've said in the previous video, we are mostly excited about the weird side of WrestleMania. People are chanting, "We want Austin." He calls himself, or Stone Cold Steve Austin, a stupid son of a bitch. Then he asks for some beer. He couldn't catch it. So he says, "Bald guy, get in the ring." So he brings Stone Cold Kevin Owens some beer. And of course, we saw a stunner. This has no right to be that entertaining. Man, a part of me wishes it was a match. By the way, the highlight of this was Stone Cold Steve Austin's music hitting again. People got excited, and of course they got pranked, disappointed. Then we saw the Mysterios versus the Dirty Dog. Seeing those with the championship feels good. So the match kicks off, but we see Seth Rollins desperately trying to find ways to be at WrestleMania. The show doesn't continue until the world hears what he has to say. He wants a WrestleMania 38 spot, and he will get it because he's Seth freaking Rollins. He tried to get Steve Austin, but now he wants bigger. And we cut to commercial. The match continues, which was pretty okay. I will say though, the NXT Championship feels kinda out of place right here, and you know, them especially losing makes this kinda look irrelevant. So yeah, the Mysterios won the match, but right after it we see a super kick, and also the Miz stole Rey Mysterio's mask.
No, Dom! Hide the face, Dom! Migo, hide the face! Not Booyaka!
I also like how WWE are kinda, you know, involving Seth Rollins in every storyline possible right now. So basically, yes, he has no storylines, but also he kinda does. He has his own storyline. The storyline is all about Seth Rollins and WrestleMania. It's interesting how Raw is so much better than SmackDown right now. It's kinda weird. Let's talk about balls. Let's talk about cojones, because we've seen a handicap match between Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz versus Omos. Not sure at this point. He's a big man though, and we've seen the match in which Omos absolutely squashed both men, and he says, "I want a bigger challenge. I want someone with them balls." Balls. Man wants these testicles, my man wants these cojones. And honestly, I know a right man for Omos. Adam Pearce. You can search the entire locker room, the entire locker room's pants. You won't find bigger balls being carried by a human being. Adam Pearce is packed Apparently there are rumors that Omos is going to face someone surprising. I have no idea, but boy, if it's the Great Khali, oh yes. I kinda miss, submission matches in the WWE. Then we saw AJ Styles and he says, I didn't want to talk to my kids. I didn't want to talk to my wife. I just kept thinking about Edge. I don't want answers. We're going to fight at WrestleMania. But right now, I don't even care about WrestleMania. Let's fight right here, right now. Instead, we see Seth Rollins. People are chanting Cody. And Seth Rollins says, well, you don't need to face Edge. I can. I will face Edge at WrestleMania, so, obviously AJ doesn't feel like it. Sounds like a bad idea. But then we see the WWE officials, and they apparently think it's a great idea. It's not a good idea, it's not a good idea. I know it's kayfabe, it doesn't make sense, man. Like, they're always giving Seth Rollins these opportunities, and it's weird. It works for Seth Rollins, though, when it comes to his story. It just doesn't make a lot of sense in kayfabe to risk Edge versus AJ Styles, a match that sells you tickets, but I'm overthinking, and I'm being a mark right here. So we will see AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins in the main event of Raw. Winner faces Edge at WrestleMania. We saw the women's tag team extravaganza, and as much as I'm trying not to complain about stuff right now, this was, we have a bunch of women. We don't have a lot of matches for them for whatever reason, even though we have 2 nights of WrestleMania. We'll put all of them in one match. Be excited about a championship that, for the most part, didn't even exist during the entire year. Man, I don't know how I feel about this promo. So basically, she was being evil, I assume, desperate. She obviously talked about Bianca Belair and how, the only reason she wasn't a Raw Women's Champion is because, she got pregnant and stuff. She had this evil voice, and it feels like WWE were like, this works, let's do this again, except worse. It just doesn't work for Becky is what I'm trying to say. It sounded really forced. Then we saw a rematch again between Finn Balor and Austin Theory, and we saw a special guest commentator, Pat McAfee, coming out with AC/DC's SmackDown music. Must feel really good, man. That was badass. And also, man, this makes me realize how much I want to see Pat McAfee and Corey Graves commentating the same show. This just worked. So obviously Pat McAfee, got involved a couple of times and ultimately, basically cost Austin Theory the match, which, sure. Then again, Finn Balor is your United States champion, so it just kind of made him look a bit weak in ways. I don't know why I'm talking as if the mid-card championships mean anything in the WWE right now. We saw RK Bro versus Alpha Academy. RK Bro won the match, but as expected, it turned into a brawl between all the tag teams that are going to be in the WrestleMania Raw Tag Team Championship match. It's gonna be good luck. We've seen these matches on Raw and they always stole the show, so I believe this has potential, but I wish it was like a ladder match or something because it could be an absolute classic. Let's pretend this didn't happen. Let's think about Veer instead. And of course, it was time for the main event, AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins, which I gotta appreciate it. Seth Rollins, AJ on Raw, free television. You'll love to see it. The match was pretty good, pretty long, and you can see Seth Rollins is desperate. He's trying to win the match. He wants to face Edge at WrestleMania, but we saw Evil Edge with a chair shot, meaning Seth Rollins got disqualified. AJ is going to face Edge at WrestleMania, and that was it. Seth Rollins takes the microphone. He says, next week's show isn't going to happen unless I get my WrestleMania match or moment. People are chanting for Cody. I mean, logically, this basically means that Seth Rollins is going to get interrupted by Cody on Raw next week. Probably. Hopefully. Now, don't take my word for it. I have no idea. But what he basically said, the show doesn't gonna start. So he's going to make an entrance, wait for his opponent, or maybe it's going to be Adam Pearce saying that, well, we found your opponent, you'll see him at WrestleMania, something along those lines. But yeah, I don't hate this. I do not hate this, and like I've said many times before, Raw is getting better. Like, if we get rid of all of the shenanigans of 24/7 championship and all that goofy shit that is just not funny anymore, it's okay. It's really okay. And when it comes to WrestleMania build, I think Raw is winning. But anyway, people, thank you for watching this video. The great one, peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.